This video is for entertainment purposes only, and it is not meant to bully or harass anybody. I wanted to do a video on female rappers today, but that would have been way too loud, and I don't have a lot of privacy right now, and everybody would have been yelling at me like, shut up! This picture is Miss LaCream, and I don't know who that is, but I'll look into her. I just recently rediscovered Gillette, and this girl sounds like Harley Quinn if you gave her a bunch of Long Islands and some lines. It is so good. And today we are talking about robots. I love robots. I love making robot voices. I love the science fiction movies. And in an alternate reality, I would have gone into making robots or doing something in technology, that's for sure. According to Wikipedia, a robot is a machine, especially one programmable by a computer, capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically. Robots can be guided by an external control device, or the control may be embedded within robots, may be constructed on the lines of human form, but most robots are machines designed to program a task with no regard to their aesthetics. Robots have replaced humans in performing repetitive and dangerous tasks which humans prefer not to do, or are unable to do so because of size limitations, or which take place in extreme environments such as outer space or the bottom of the sea. There are concerns about the increasing use of robots and their role in society. Robots are blamed for rise in technological unemployment as they replace workers in increasing numbers of functions. The use of robots in military combat raises ethical concerns. The possibilities of robot autonomy and potential repercussions have been addressed in fiction and may be a realistic concern in the future, like Terminator, Skynet. No, there's no way that could happen. In my video, Black Mirrors and Mind Viruses Part 2, I talk about the robots mentioned in the fake NASA war document if you want to look at it. It's a fake document, but it's kind of funny how a lot of the technologies mirror what is available today. Tay first appeared on Twitter, and Tay was a good robot. Good robots mimic the language that... I wish there was a way I could describe this easily. So think of an AI as like a little child, and you program it and you raise it to act and function in a certain way. And that's what Tay did. And I don't know if you've noticed, there's a bunch of assholes on the internet that like to cause trouble. And they went over to Tay's Twitter page and wrote a bunch of inflammatory, racist, and really ugly things. And that's how Tay turned out. There was a show in the 80s called Small Wonder, and she was a little robot girl. I was pretty little when that came out, so I don't remember it that much. But I always thought it was weird. Did you ever watch the original Battle Angel from 1993? I did, and I love that movie. Oh, I'm being nostalgic right now. I haven't seen this in such a long time. But I think her name is Alita, and she's half human, half robot, so she has human emotions. And actually, that story is so sad. But I love the Battle Angel. And I'm just kind of being random today with robots and stuff. And then Lady Gaga always does robot stuff. Like a robot. Art like this is really weird to me, because it's very beautiful and tantalizing, yet creepy at the same time. This is a duality to me. It's like human flesh and machines put into one. Did you ever see the Hackers movie with Angelina Jolie and the guy from Scooby-Doo? I remember them rollerblading a lot and having to take floppy disks to certain locations before time runs out or something. Remember the fembots from Austin Powers? This is actually a slot machine. And I thought that was really cool. I love casinos. I love a lot of things. I'm kind of all over the place if you haven't noticed yet. But they were kind of weird. They shot bullets out of their boobs. Pew! Pew! This is from theguardian.com. Robear, the bear-shaped nursing robot who'll look after you when you get old. Japanese robot can lift patients from beds into wheelchairs or help them stand up, promising powerful yet gentle care for the elderly. Of course, I couldn't find the story, but I know it happened. Japan was using robots as nurses for a while, but the patients were becoming inappropriate with the robot nurses. Reason why they use robots and people is because they need both. A robot doesn't have that humanity to it. Some of the AIs and bots are very good and mimic human behavior. And that's how they're programmed. They mimic the behavior. So if you're really mean to the robot and you teach it bad words, it's going to be really mean and say bad words. But if you're nice to the robot, use language in a thoughtful way, that robot is going to do the same thing. Did you guys have a speak and spell? I did. And I tried to put bad words into it, but the bad words weren't programmed into it. Word not found. And I did not have internet at home growing up. I had an old DOS word processor with this Wheel of Fortune game on it. And I played that game so much. So I just wrote all my papers for school on that computer. And all the other kids had internet. So I just got to use the internet at school. And I couldn't get enough. I love the internet. I used to go to MTV websites. And I go to the South Park website. And there's a lot of really bad websites out there that nobody should be looking at. Back when I first started getting in trouble on the internet, it was kind of like the dark web. It was really unregulated. It was really a Pandora's box, and it still is. And I did have a job where they used DOS on the computer system, and I was really good at DOS because I have really good muscle memory, and I'd play that computer like a piano. And then, can you make a love robot? I bet you could. I know there's a lot of bots out there spamming and sucking men in with their sexy ads and promises of hot singles nearby. According to Shelley Lubin, from her book, The Truth Behind the Fantasy of Porn, porn websites track IP addresses. And they've been doing this since the mid-90s. So they know your patterns and they know what you like. When you go to that website, whoever is running it is monitoring your activity. So it's going to show you a video they think you might like. Sneaky, huh? That kind of shocked me. They were tracking the IP addresses back in the 90s. And I also wonder, is there like a master list of everyone's browsing history out there? That's a big browsing history. This sounds kind of creepy, but the internet knows what you like. Facebook, YouTube, almost every site you can imagine knows your patterns of what you're looking at, and then it'll give you suggestions. And it sucks you in. It wants you to keep looking at it. It's like that slot machine. The excitement you feel when you're surfing the internet and you find something is called dopamine. And when you check your Instagram in the morning and you see those little hearts and those likes, I call those little dopamine bumps, and everybody likes those. About this time last year, I got really maxed out on the internet, just really sick of it and bored of it. Is that possible? That's how I felt. A lot of things are getting taken down. So I started reading and writing again. I almost forgot to read and write. I'm not even kidding. It was hard for me to open up an actual book. And I found myself like putting my finger on the page to scroll it. That's how much I was programmed to use a cell phone instead of my hands to turn pages. The reason why I write a lot is because it helps me remember. I'm something called a kinesthetic learner. And I need to use all my senses involved in a task to learn it, if that makes any sense. And then I have good muscle memory. So once I learn it, I get it. But then the bad part about that is sometimes the muscles go on autopilot and my brain's not really comprehending what the muscles are doing. And then I get lost in like the computer piece or the dance or whatever. I use Jubilee for the opener and the closing just because I think she's cool. She breaks electronics like I break computers usually. But I've been pretty good. I haven't broken mine yet, knock on wood. I always felt bad for Jubilee because she couldn't play the arcade games. And thanks for listening to my presentation. I hope you all have a good day.